One, Patriot 5 and Patriot 6 here. Friday night. We're getting close. I know we're getting close. Do you guys feel it? I'm just messing with you. No, I really believe we are getting close, but that's we'll talk about that in a little bit. As I do every show now, the music played in this show is for entertainment purposes only. We have no legal rights to it. We use it for entertainment for our group and have more or less adopted it as our theme song for our show. This video is not intended for children. It's to the discretion of the person in charge of these children, whether or not they allow them to watch them. They will hear nothing bad. They will not have anything go wrong, but we have to make this claim because we have to prove that we are here to do things right and not do things wrong. So with that being said, I want to talk to the kids. I want to talk to Super Jimmy. And as I said, Jimmy, 500,000 of them. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. They're just waiting to go. They're waiting to get people trained and that. And my honest opinion, I think it's going to be about 3 months. From what I've been reading and seeing and things like that, Jimmy, I think it's going to be about 3 months. But just think of your age. Think of your mommy's age. Think of everything you've went through. Can we wait 3 more months to have health like we want it, to have everything that we need? And John with Patriot Boog, Boogaloo, and Boogaroo. John, as you were king of the day the other day, king for the day. I remember he used to have a show on Queen for the Day, but John was king for the day. They give him his crown and they give him his cape, and it was so cool. But Boog, Boogaloo, and Boogaroo, I know you guys, you need the help too, and it's coming. Just trust. Put your trust in Grandpa John and me and Ron, but most don't put it in God. Patriot 11. I miss you, buddy. I look at it this way. We're almost halfway through April, and I figure by June you'll be at Grandma's, so we can chat a little bit, or we can you can come on the shows and you guys can watch, but you take good
notification today.
You take good care of Grandma. Patriot Princess, our queen, and Patriot Hunter. Princess, your grandma has been posting a lot of pictures of you. She's been showing a lot of you. And boy, I tell you, if I was coaching your team, I would be happy to have you on there. I can just tell with the look in your eye. You remember the Karate Kid, I always look eye, and I take that as a factor. I take it as a factor because whenever I look at a kid to see their dedication, when I see that they want to play, when I see they want to be hungry, they don't want to play, but they want to excel, they want to be good, I see that in your eyes. I was telling my little grandson tonight, Patriot 7, and we was playing catch, me and him. Yep, the old 70-year-old man still got a little bit in him. My trouble is I was playing with my high school glove. And you guys know I've been out of high school for 50 years. But anyway, I haven't used it much here over the past, and it's so stiff, and I might go buy a new glove just so I can play catch with my grandson. Patriot Hunter, I know you play ball too, and all I say is I'd rather you play ball than hunt. So that being said, we got Patriot Karate Kid and Patriot Wyatt Earp. Wyatt Earp, I watched a Brave, Courageous, and Bold show the other night. It was on one of my channels that we stream in, and I seen it, and I said, I got to watch this just for you. You probably never heard of the show and probably think I'm goofy, but, I've been called a lot worse than goofy. Patriot Super Gymnast, I'm telling she wanted to get out on a trampoline and practice some of her jumps tonight. Weather here is not great, but the sun was shining, even though the wind's blowing and it's chilly. It didn't matter. She was in the house and upstairs in her room, back downstairs in about 2 minutes. She went from her school clothes to a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, and she was out on a trampoline, which naturally took Patriot little monkey out with her because she just absolutely adores her big sister. Just in case my daughters happen to watch this, and I know this can't happen, but your daughter told me today that she wants a little sister. I'm just telling you, Patriot Small Hank and Patriot Kira. I stopped at the post office today, and this post office man we got, when I went in and told him what box number I wanted to mail out of, he looked at me and said something. I reached in, I took out 2 little miniature chocolate bars, put them in my pocket, and I went down the house, and I have tulips on the side of my house. And when my son and daughter was 6 and 5, it was the greatest year we ever had of the tulips. We probably had 60 or 70 of them all bloomed at the same time, different, like 5 different colors. And since then, they've kind of went downhill. Part of it's we need to dig them up, replant them, and because they're killing each other out with suffocating each other. But for some reason this year on Easter, we had 5 bloomed. I haven't paid much attention to them. And my little dog, my sister's little dog, got out tonight. I was helping her look. And then I went back over to her house and found out she had found him. And as I'm leaving her house just a little bit ago, I happened to look at my house, which is right next door. And I go, oh my gosh, I got to go in and talk to Brandon. I went in and got my son, and they came out. We got 34 tulips bloomed. I don't know if you guys like tulips, but tulips and lilacs are probably my favorite. And we have 2 or 3 trees of lilacs, and they'll be coming in here soon. And I just love to just sit out on the porch and let the wind blow and let that lilac smell just cover us. Because we don't get them long. Lilacs is something that don't last long. And I know, kids, you probably didn't think you'd be getting a lecture on flowers from me, but there you go. But anyway, I was telling you about Patriot Small Hank and Patriot Kira, and I had these 2 candy bars, and I gave them each one. You'd have thought I'd give them $100,000. I ain't kidding you. You'd have thought I went out and bought them everything they ever wanted. It was like a little bitty candy bar, made them so happy. Then we got Patriot little Leona, and Mike hasn't sent me no pictures. Matter of fact, Mike hasn't sent me no messages for a while. It seems like he's sending them all now to the Messenger, Patriot5 and Patriot6 site. That's fine. I can get them there. That's fine if he wants to do that. And I don't go. I go in once a day to check, see if anybody's been there. And no, I haven't been getting much, but that's okay. So that covers the kids tonight. So now we're going to say the pledge, and we're going to do the music, and then we're going to get into the show. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again, just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt as love is God bless the
Figure 3 less hitters on the team. All 3 got hurt running to first base. In a situation, there's no need for any one of them to be
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave their right to me. And I'd rather stand next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt of this God bless the USA. There ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. God bless the USA. Haley, Princess Haley, our queen. What you asked me, what your grandma asked me to do
mine too.
for your friend.
That's why I got this sunglass holder.
I have it packaged. I will be to the post office before 12:30 tomorrow when the post office closes, and it will be shipped out along with another little bitty gift for you. I think you're going to enjoy that. And since your brother's such a good big brother, I'm even sending him another little something. But guys, we're all sitting in a situation. We're sitting in a situation where we want to help people. We want to do humanitarian projects. We want to be there for people. You know, as me and Ron was watching a show the other night, and he looked at me and he says, you know, that's going to be one of the greatest things is there's not going to be no homeless people. If they're homeless, there's enough people we can help them get a home. Because there's going to be people that's going to come in to this nice fortune, and they're not going to know what to do with it. So, you know, instead of doing all of these videos about all these bad people, just let them know they were bad, tell them what they did. But let's move on a couple of days of what you need to do to not go and just run through it. You know, look at all the people who win the lotto. And usually within 5 to 10 years or sooner, they're broke. I'm going to mention a guy. His name is Scottie Pippen. If you know anything about NBA basketball, Scottie Pippen was the second best player on the Bulls through the 6 championships runs they won, and just so happened the best player was Michael Jordan. But they would have never won one with Michael Jordan and somebody else there. Scottie Pippen was the glue. The other team had a great score. Scottie Pippen got on him, and it was almost like, boom, you shut him down. They couldn't do anything. He was dedicated. He still was a good scorer, but he wasn't what he could have probably been on another team. The year that Michael took off to whatever, Scottie Pippen was the team leader, and he should have taken the team to a chance to play for the championship, but they got one of the most ridiculous calls that's ever been called in any sport event. It was, to this day, I can see it just like it happened yesterday. But that's okay. He did what he needed to do, and he proved he was a leader. But I'm telling you this because this is a man that knows what he's doing. but he's broke. This is a man that when the Bulls traded him, when they let Michael go to Washington, I mean, that goes to show the stupidity of the Chicago Bulls franchise to let two people like that go when they still both of them had 2 or 3 years left. But they let him go, but they got him a huge extension, like 4 years or 5 years for well over $100 million. How can you be broke when you earn over $100 million? And that was just in the last 4 or 5 years of his career. He had played for, 8 or 10 years with the Bulls already and was probably made another $100 million in them years. He did this, but then Michael Jordan did this. Michael Jordan is worth $3.4 billion in Scottie Pippen. From what I'm reading, guys, what I'm telling you this is something I read on a Google search the other day. I actually, when they bring the stories up, they said that Scottie Pippen, this isn't the first time. This is the second time he's went bankrupt. How? Someone needs to reach out to this man and help him. He doesn't know about what's going to happen with the R&R. Because just imagine, you think we paid taxes. Think of the taxes he paid on $100 million. And you're going to get it back sevenfold. I mean, I was so excited the other day about this sevenfold in the taxes. And I was talking to Ron. I got talking to him about the money that I paid, my house, I had a deal worked out with my future mother-in-law who never wanted to be my mother-in-law. So she died 18 days before we got married. But I had a deal worked out with her. I was going to pay X amount of money every month for 10 years. If she passed away with her cancer before, then at the end of the year, the payments that I made went into a fund, and every year they would split it with my wife and the 3 sisters. But as soon as that happened, and it didn't take long, now all of a sudden, hey, let's change this. Let's go, Ralph, you go and refinance so we can have our whole lump sum. And I give in because my ex-wife said to do it, and it was the wrong thing to do. But I have been paying on that house since 1982. Since 1982, I've been paying on that house. And I owe just about 4.5 times what I originally purchased it for. How do you do that? So I got talking to Ron. I says, do you know how much interest I paid in 42 years? And I got thinking, wow. And I just took a small number, probably about 1/3 of what it was, but it was easy to run the numbers in my head. And I said, wow, sevenfold, that's going to make me a billionaire. Well, have you ever seen the videos? The guy who does a video on this, the sevenfold, he tells us, he says, you're going to get an amount of money. And when you get that amount of money, you're going to get it sevenfold. Not 7 times 7. You're going to get it sevenfold, which if you're going to get $10,000 back, you take it times 7, that's $70,000. That's the first fold. What's the matter?
So you're going to get $7 billion back.
Ron's laughing because of what I'm saying, but I mean, I explained it to him yesterday, but I guess he didn't hear me. But no, what I'm saying, guys, is the guy says, your number is going to be this. Remember we had a lady on the show, and she provided us with a website that we could go and see the kind of money we was going to get. And people was getting excited because they was going to get $100,000 back or $70,000. One person, I'm getting $150,000. Well, if you're getting all that and you get it times 7, think of, if you got excited at $150,000, think what you are now. So that's just a little something I wanted to share. And since we're on money, I wanted to share something else. But first, I'm going to say something. Where we go one, we go all. I'm going to make America great again. I believe he will. I believe it will happen. But the reason I brought this up is because you guys all know who said this. I believe you know who said it, and if you don't, he lives in a place that was seized and ransacked here a while back in Florida. Oh, he used to live in a beautiful house that was white. So I think you guys know who I'm talking about. But remember, we're going to make America great again. Where we go one, we go all. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I know me and Ron wasn't invited to this special dinner, this special weekend at Mar-a-Lago this week. Was any of you? You fly a guy in from another country, just like me, bald-headed. The only difference is I've never made any money from the cabal, and he's become a multimillionaire from them. Wow. Makes me just want to jump right out there and just say, hallelujah. These people that's taking money from people that can't afford it, they're being honored at this beautiful mansion. Wow. And you know it's got to be beautiful because even the young man's, the bald-headed man's son was in a tuxedo. And don't get me wrong, there's a great picture, it's an amazing picture. But when I go and look at a steak in the store and remember, you know the song Memories? Okay. I remember what it used to be like when I could afford that steak. I have no idea what they're going to have tonight. A friend of mine just posted on Facebook, Larry Ringy. He was a worker at GNB where we worked. And he was a worker, and then he was also a foreman for a while. But I thought we already were friends, but evidently, I don't know about you guys, but me and Ron were just talking. Our phones and our tablets and everything, right now, they are just flying all over the place. I was literally on Facebook today, and I was reading something, and the next thing I knew, I was reading a different article on Patriot5 Forever on Telegram. And I said something to Ron, and Ron says, yeah, same things happening to me. But I don't want to sound like I'm crying because we're not doing things. But I just don't understand how we can constantly, and if you listen to Bruce on a big call last night, or if you had someone give you a play-by-play of it, Bruce sounded really, really good. But before I go any further, you guys, any of you has ever had a thought pop in your mind? A thought pop in your mind that you don't want to forget about it because it's important to you. And I just did, and I wanted to say this earlier before I got into the show. But Linda Scullion, I hope that's the way she pronounces her name. She writes me every day. She messages me every day. She reminds me every day to take my medicine, keep my feet elevated as much as possible, and do my walking. And there's not words that I can tell her how much I appreciate her doing this. But today my letter started off, Ralph, I'm sorry for writing you late. Or it was yesterday, I don't remember which. But in essence, what she's telling me, she was late getting to me because her husband, Bob, wasn't feeling well. Now, Bob's a really good guy. I really look forward to meeting him someday. Takes very good care of Linda. But he wasn't feeling well, so I just wanted everybody to maybe say a prayer for Bob to get feeling better. Because he's part of this group. He's part of this family. Maybe he doesn't believe as strongly as some of us, but he's a good guy. So, Bob, we pray for you to get feeling better. So now, Bruce on a big call last night. As Marianne, giving me play-by-play, says to me, Bruce sounds a lot better. Even though she had to sit through Bob, Bob's a great guy. His heart is in the right place, but his speaking skills are just Dry toast is more great. I don't want to cut the man down because, see, he saw an opportunity here. And somehow he got with Bruce.
Jesus Christ.
And they do this. They take care of this. They do the things they need to do. They don't ask for money. Bruce, don't ask for money. Don't say, you got to pay me so much money. You got to pay me so much to get my information on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. No, he does his show. But Bob is in a company. He believes in the products. Now, when your number one man gets sick and he's using these products that probably shouldn't have announced he was sick, they probably should have said something like, Bruce isn't available tonight. But he did. He sounded, I went and listened to the video later, and he did sound real good. But Bruce is human just like we all are. And what I mean by that is Bruce started off with, I'm going to read what he had to say last night. But there was some important things. He went in and he talked about the big meeting, where they was going to get these people for treason. But if you're listening to anybody, we all know what the penalty is for treason. And they thought that was a little bit harsh. So to take away 0.25% of all the money, I mean, man, it just, the money that these people's going to be doing, it's just astronomical what they would lose. And where do you get to somebody? You get to them through their wallets. If you can put money in their wallets, you're going to get them to listen to you. If they don't,
Take their wallet away.
take their phone away, Ron says.
Wallet.
Oh, take their wallet away. But I will read to you what Bruce had to say. It was very good. What was more important about what it was very good, you could tell the frustration in Bruce. The frustration talking about how everybody has been waiting for this so long. But I think Bruce has watched a show or two of ours because he used one of my sayings. He used one of my sayings last night by saying, we're not asking for it to happen all the time. We just need it to happen one time. One time. And, I use the analogy of that movie, Little Giants, when the geeky brother beats Al Bundy. Well, Al Bundy played Al Bundy in the show. When he beats the guy in a football game, he says, all I got to do is one time beat him. Because, see, when you're the superstar, if you lose to the geek squad, your life changes. You're not the superstar anymore. You're both equals because he's proven he's your equal. But I was really happy to hear Bruce use the only one-time analogy. But he went on to talk about a lot of things. A lot of things. And like I said, I'm going to cover them because it's going to be easier for me to cover them than to do other things. Now, in talking to Linda last night, guys, and to show you how she feels, she sent me a picture message, and she says, this is what I bought today. She just had the itch to add on. Then she's told me how many she's got of other ones, and she has like 5 or 6 different kinds according to what she's telling me last night. And I thought, wow. I know I've told people if you can't afford it, don't buy it. But I mean, she got, I believe I'm hoping I can get this right. Let me see if I can. I don't see her thing. There it is. Let me hold on there just a minute. Yeah, here. Bank Note World. And in the Boulevard that she spent $11.99 for, she said, I got a large note of one. I went and looked at it and I thought, no, you got 100 of them ones, which is going to make her very, very happy. She also bought some Zimbabwe. Now she got in the trillions in Zimbabwe for $14.99. I'm sorry. It don't make no sense.
What?
Marianne, are you on? Oh, you didn't tell me that last night, Marianne. She didn't buy the one in the trillion. She bought 4 of them. So you remember how the amount I told you last night, Ronnie?
Yeah.
She bought 4 of them. Her total cost for everything, because it's free shipping, was $71.95. If she just gets 1 penny on what she purchased last night, she will be pushing being a billionaire. She might be there. So I'm not asking you guys to go out and buy. If you're considering it, I like banknote world. I do. But I couldn't give you the amounts that she bought because I never talk amounts, but I enjoy talking to her. Breaking news. This comes from the hat. Breaking news. 72 hours until all HE double toothpicks breaks loose. That's the hat alert. Yeah, that's why I did it the way I did. Thank you, Myrna. I almost said some things I shouldn't, but I think I kept it pretty decent.
Learning here.
Yeah, Myrna's here.
Oh.
Here's something that a friend of mine sent. I think Ron must have sent it over here to me. Guys from Kansas City, Missouri. Been friends with me for a long time. He says a man is suing Smartwater for not making him smart. And I'd like to formally announce my lawsuit against Thin Mints. Guys, you got to put some funniness in there. I hope it made you guys, someone smile. I'm going to share a picture with you. No, I can't. Yeah, I can. Real quickly, look at all this gold. Now, I wasn't able to show you the whole picture there. I just wanted you to see how much gold. I mean, it's unreal, the amount that's there. But the caption says, on Sunday, April 14, 2024, Big N and Big G will be officially throughout the world. On Sunday, April 14, 2024, the Big N and Big G will be official throughout the whole world. Someone just asked the question, what in the next 72 hours? Well, that's one of the things. I understand the frustration of people because it seems like every time I come on, I tell you the same thing. Every time Bruce comes on, he tells you the same thing. Every time Mark comes on, he tells you the same thing. So we got two ways to handle this. We can come on and you can enjoy watching the shows because we're putting our heart, our love, and our soul into everyone because we believe that everything we say is true. Or if you don't believe in it, I don't know what to tell you. I'm trying to see what, oh, no wonder I ain't getting what I want. I seen some things on here's something about the three-letter organization that starts with an I and ends with an S. 601.602 tax forms and instructions. A, tax reform forms and instructions, the internal, that them three letters service develops forms of instructions that explain requirements of the internal the code for them and regulations. The service distributes the forms and the instructions to help taxpayers comply with the law. And the next part I'm going to read, it's only a few words, is highlighted. The tax system is based on voluntary compliance, and the taxpayers compete and returns form with payment of any taxes owed. That's a code of the federal regulation. Ron, not my brother, he posted this and he says, I want to share a bank story with you out of Canada. I know they are far and few between. Yes, they are coming out of the Great White North. I went to the bank to deposit a check this morning. I was there as the bank manager opened the door and welcomed me in. I was the only one there as it opened. I asked him how things were going exactly with the new system and if they were going to be exchanging the foreign currencies when it comes time. Much to my surprise, he was quite engaging and said they were not one of the financial institutions chosen to do the exchanges. This was SERVUS Credit Union. So he's telling you what the credit union was. I said, okay, but as I would like to diversify my holdings, and although I know the QFS will hold most, I would still like to talk about wealth management when the time comes. I asked how close we are to that format this month, maybe? He said yes. Before the end of this month, April, he ran to his office and got business cards and brought them back to me and said he said to sure call him when it's time. This is Alberta, Canada. So those of us in Canada who are not sure this is real, I can assure you this is real. I don't know if you guys go to my Patriot 5 site, but there's a lot of people put a lot of good stuff on there. I think I read this one. Breaking hat news alert. President the Hat has just sent out a new presidential message, 72 hours until all HE double toothpicks break loose. Okay, now let me get back to finding Bruce reading. Went too far. Bear with me. Where are we now? What's interested yesterday, one of our better sources said that it was going to go between today and Monday the 15th. And from another source, PM, said that the military are handling the releases now. That is something that's brand new. Me and Mary Ann was talking about that last night. Bruce even mentioned that this is something that new, that it's the 800 numbers are going to come from the military. Handling the emails of the WF services when we go to get the green light to Treasury. So military are in charge, and when they feel the time is right, and also yesterday we expected to release overnight Sunday and into Monday morning. So the 15th, our federal income tax with the big N goes away. So we don't want to call that tax day. So now we've heard over and over it was not gone. And what I've been believing, I don't know, I don't think it's going before Monday. I really think it's going to happen Monday, never early or late. All Bruce wants is we want this intel to be right just once, and we're golden. So Bruce is hoping and believing for this to be on Monday morning for all of us at once. And I know where I know you know where I'm coming from on this, and you are tired hearing me say we're ready and it doesn't happen. And one reason it's good, and Tuesday they have the CC and RC, and more or less threatened with that act if anybody leaked, but now they have taken it down to where they're just going to take away their 0.25 payment that they would get. So they don't want to lose that, make a bunch of money on those exchanges, and a win-win-win. And also the banks get hydrated, and so do we. Rate is good, and the dinar is tied to the price of the barrel of oil, and more tied to the price of oil being sold to Turkey, and that is really good. Here's how we have to look at this. So I know you're excuse me. I lost where I was at. So I know your eyes must roll when I say it, but I really do hope this is finally it. But Bruce is still now talking, and he goes in to talk about Sue. That's his decision to do. He has a right. It's his show. But try and find Judy now. Nope. That's the other one. There we go. Where'd it go? I told you. Restored Republic via the GCR has update Friday, 12 April 2024. Warning, prepare for blackout and shutdown, banking collapse, let's go hunting, be prepared for anything. The 7th letter, the 17th letter, in parentheses, JFK Jr. on Telegram, Thursday, 11 April 2024. Deep state fiat US dollar, central banking system officially dead. On Thursday, April 11th at 9 a.m. EST, President the Hat signed the U.S. into gold asset-backed currencies of the BRICS Alliance quantum financial system, allowing the fiat and USA dollars. Now that what I just read, that he signed us into the BRICS, I've heard a lot of different stories. I've heard he's done it, it's done, but I've heard it hasn't been done. I'm just reading what I was sent, so I don't have an opinion on it. Well, yes, I do. I hope it is. I hope he has, but it's up to them. It's only wise to have at least 3 weeks supply of food, water, cash, fuel, medicines, and essential items on hand for yourself and to help others in case of a disaster. Judy note, trust the plan. The letter between P and R has forewarned the scenes unfolding are the accumulation of the well-orchestrated devolution strategy to reclaim governance and to restore power to the people. Now, more than ever, it is crucial for every global citizen to participate actively in their liberation. Rise, unite, and be the revolution. White hats on Telegram, Thursday, 11 April 2024. On Thursday, 11 April at 9 a.m., President the Hat, I just read that about the BRICS. In March 2017, all accounts holders at all banks in all 209 participating countries of the BRICS Alliance was downloaded into the quantum financial system. When the trigger is pulled for the QFS to become active, it will immediately end the central banking system that perpetuates debt slavery around the world, and fractional reserve banking and central banking activities will cease. That came from Dr. Charlie.
I was just thinking, wouldn't the day be Easter on the Julian calendar? It's been 13 days.
Yeah, but today's the 12th.
That's right, but
I don't know.
Easter was the 31st.
I don't know. On Thursday, 11th April, the Hat was said to sign the EBS order. Mark Zia and Wolverine believe Tier 4B will have liquidity by Monday, 15th of April. Some New York banks were told announcement of global currency reset would happen by Monday, 15th April, though most believe the general public announcement will be on Sunday, Monday, 21st, or Tuesday, 22nd of April. On Wednesday, 17th of April, Junior and Princess Di were scheduled to come out of hiding. Okay. Travel restrictions. For everybody here who thinks what's going on in that one country, there's Russia and yeah, but there's also another country, and you and I both know that that other country does not have a good president. He's not good at all. How could you be when you're friends with a sleepy guy? When you're partners with his kids and his brother. What he's putting his country through is total outright BS. I don't really believe the other country, not the one I'm talking about now, I don't believe that they're really the ones doing the things. I believe it's coming down in his own country. Military is doing it. That's my opinion. And you know, guys, remember, that's just my opinion. I can say that here. I cannot say that to the girl that I write in that country 5 days a week, because she believes in her president. She believes in the man that they say is the president of her country. Now, for everybody here, for everyone here on this show tonight, and right now there's 249, how many of yous can honestly say, I can remember when I used to believe with all of my heart in the president of the United States of America? I can. The person that they say is the president of the United States of America, I can remember that. I know who the president of the United States of America is now, and I trust him 100%. But the gentleman, that people who got their eyes like this, closed tight, they believe it's someone else. He never was and never will be my president. A president is supposed to take care of us, and that's why I am so happy to sit here and repeat something I've talked about many, many times, that soon these governments will go down to like 10%. There will be no more some young kid at 25 years old saying, I'm going to run for this office, and when I get this one, then I'll stay in there for a couple of years and I'll get this one, and I'm going to be a lifelong politicking man, and I'm going to become rich. I'm going to become rich, and I'm going to have money, 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 money. And I'm going to get in with the bad people, and I'm going to have more money, 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 money. Have you seen all the people? Have you seen all the people, all the actors and actresses that are coming out telling what they had to do to get to where they got? They were kids and they had a chance, or they was at a point in their life that they either had to go to work in a factory like I did, or they got a chance to be famous. A lot of them are also saying what they went through. See, because this isn't what they did with what we know is being done. This is what they had to go through. How can anybody go through the stuff like that? My opinion is this. If you saw it and you tried to do something about it, or you're doing something about it, if it happened to you and you kept your mouth shut, okay. But if you saw it to someone else and you kept your mouth shut, you know better than any one of them. And that's my opinion. Or as I like to say, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. We have a man right now that, yes, you hear me. I'm very upset what's going on this weekend. And I would like to say something about a gentleman that I really believe in. I don't believe he's gone, but the person we think he is, he does not. He literally come out and said, I was born this man, I will die this man. I am not who you're saying I am. And he has his church in Tennessee, I believe it is. But you know what? He's the only minister I seen that's at this big bash in Florida and gets his picture taken with Dr. Charlie. I'm never going to come out and say that I think he is someone, not publicly, because he asked me not to. He assured me he wasn't. But there is a loophole in there that I won't share on the show. There is a loophole what he said about being born, about when he leaves. And it can work for him, but to me, I just have a hard time figuring out. You know, I know several ministers, and I know none of them was invited to this place. None of them. I want to finish a story that I got sidetracked on a while back. I was talking about Larry Ringy and you know, being a foreman, being a friend, being a fellow working mate. And the reason I was telling you a story is because I was talking about the price of food and this and this and this. And he came on Facebook the other night and he had this unbelievable, beautiful, rare prime rib. And he had a recipe on how to get it that way. And I said, Larry, I love your recipe. I would love to try it, but I went to 4 different banks the other day and none of them will finance a loan for me to buy it. Think about it. He comes back and he said, it's a shame, Ralph, isn't it, that that's come to this? I said, yeah. He said, well, I only could post it is because I copied a picture and put it up there. He says, because believe me, I'm the same boat as it. And guys, we're so much like that. But you know, we can change just a little bit here and a little bit there. Yesterday, me and Ron went grocery shopping, went into this one store, and the lady that's working the counter, she was a year ahead of me in high school. Me and her we pick at each other every time I go into her store. We exchanged to the other customers in there, showed them pictures of us, what we looked like when we was in high school. And she was very, very beautiful young girl. And I was just a stud, man. I was handsome like you wouldn't believe. And then again, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And the lady in front of me, the lady that was checking out before me, she only had 3 items. I was in a dollar store, and my bill come to over $70. So I don't want to let this lady stand there. I said, ma'am, would you like to go in front of me? And she said, yes, I would. Come to find out, she's about the same age. She said, but this is my friend here that's already checked out. I had to go get 1 or 2 more things. And I said, well, just go ahead in front of me. And her bill come to $5.76. And I go, wow. The girl behind the counter said if he was any kind of a man, he'd pay for you. And I said, you know, you're right. Hand her bill and tell her to be on her way. And you haven't rung out her bill yet. So just keep that bill going and charge me for the rest. I'm telling you guys, didn't cost much. Wasn't that big of a deal. But to that lady and her friend and people behind me, you'd have thought I'd give this lady $1 million. And the one lady that was with the lady that I paid for looked at me and said, now I'm going to teach her and I'm going to do it too. Because within the next week, we're going to find somebody and we're going to pay it forward to someone else. We can all do this, guys. We can all do this. If you need a helping hand, see what we can do. None of us have a lot of money, but if you need a little bit, you know, what can we do? I don't know. But if you're in a store and you see somebody, you know, I bought people lunches. I did once a girl, I bought her a pop once, one of those big 44-ounce pops. I said, I'll pay for this. A very, very attractive young lady. She said, thank you. I thought she would leave, and she waited till I got done paying, and I turned around and I said, you can go, it's paid for. She said, oh, I need a pack of, and she named the cigarettes she needed. I said, okay, then pay for your pop. She said, excuse me? We're only talking 79 cents. I said, if you're going to smoke cigarettes, pay for your pop. She said, thank you. I've been looking for an excuse to not, to give up smoking. This was 20 years ago. This was 20 years ago this happened. And every now and then I still get, a couple times we went out to dinner on a 5-year anniversary, 10-year anniversary, but she's moved out of the area, but she's got my email address. And once or twice a year, I get an email from her telling me that she still never smoked another cigarette since that day. You never know if you say something to somebody, what it'll do for them. Dear Lord, as we come to the end of tonight's show, we want to thank you. We want to pray for Bob and his health, and anybody on the show, anybody watching the show in the future, all the kids, 100% of the kids, Lord, and everybody. We want you to just put an angel's hand on their shoulder and let them know everything's going to be okay. And soon we're going to be going to this heaven on earth, this new way of life that's going to be so special, so amazing. And Lord, we come to you tonight and we pray to you at the end of the week In our Savior, your Son's name, Jesus Christ, amen and amen. Good night, everyone. Oh, my goodness. When I said good night, everyone, I looked at the clock and it was exactly 1 hour. Good night.